The race for the presidency of Lebanon has begun. President Michel Aoun's term ends on October 31, 2022, so a new candidate must be approved by a simple majority of the parliament, 67 members, prior to this date. Today, I had the chance to interview many people to understand what the process for electing the next president is, as well as what actually transpired. Let's start with my interview with Ittihad Darwish from Wikali Watani, the national agency, who has been reporting for more than 20 years from inside the Lebanese Parliament. She gives us an insight into what today is all about.
أبداً ما في مفاجآت وما هي جلسة حاسمة ستأتي بالرئيس، هي جلسة حيكتمل فيها النصاب ولكن لا انتخابات، لأنه هيدي جلسة جس نبض توجه الكتل النيابية بأي اتجاه رايحين، وبعتقد أنه حتى النواب التغييريين والمعارضة بعضهم متفقين على اسم واحد، والفريق الآخر أيضاً كمان ما حسم أمره.
She's saying again she doesn't think it's a surprise, it's procedural because the independents and the change MPs haven't decided on a single candidate, they're still negotiating. On the other side, she thinks too that they're still deciding who the main candidate will be, so they're putting forward the names that will be considered for the presidency today.
Inside the House, most members were present, with only 6 of the 128 MPs not present. 2 were absent and 4 were excused. Then the Speaker, Nabi Berri, called for the vote to begin, and the race began. Members were called one by one to place their votes inside the transparent box, whilst the Speaker and the ministers observed from the front of the chamber. Interestingly, the Prime Minister, Najib Miati, was absent. I sat up in the gallery with foreign media and invited guests and took a prime position close to the front so I could have a clear view of the box containing the ballots and so I could closely observe if there were any shenanigans. When the votes were finally counted, it was clear that another session would be necessary. The majority of the ballots were a blank paper, 63 votes, which largely were submitted by the Tayyar Party, Hezbollah, and Amal. I caught up with a member of the Tayyar Party, Alan Aoun, after the vote to ask why they placed a blank vote.
We saw that and we believe that the Tayyar placed a white paper, I believe, today. Can you explain your thinking?
Yeah, because we voted blank because we were not ready yet. There is no real agreement on a candidate, as you saw actually.
Yes.
And we prefer to wait to have a sort of an agreement around the candidate rather than just vote to vote any name.
Okay.
So we wanted some substantial vote. And I guess the white vote explains that we're not ready yet, or we don't have at least yet an agreement with other blocs, because we want a serious candidate who's able to gather a maximum of votes, which means a maximum of agreement and of consensus around his name.
So what is holding back the negotiations?
I think the negotiations were very slow. I guess that today's session will make them a little bit
move forward faster.
Actually, right. Because we will have another session coming in, I guess, within 2 weeks' time. I hope that these 2 weeks, everyone will give the presidency the priority and will go forward with some initiatives and some contacts and some negotiations, but definitely need some flexibility also, because we cannot, everyone needs flexibility in order to find a common ground.
The individual who received the largest number of votes was independent MP Michel Mawad, whose father, René Mawad, was the president-elect in 1990, but was assassinated the day before he was to take office.
How does it make you feel that you are on top of that list? How did it make you feel today? Did you know you would get such a large number of people voting for you?
That makes me feel more responsible than ever.
Yes.
I believe that the MPs that voted for me did not only vote for a person, they voted for a choice, that of bringing back to our country sovereignty, reforms and development. I consider that this session, though everybody expected we would not come out with the president, but we should see it as a primary session within the opposition. Today, between those that voted for me, the 36 votes, between those that supported me but that could not come because of the short notice, 4 MPs, MP Named Fair, MP Fouad Mahzoumi, MP Salim Al-Sayed and MP Sidri Dajaja. So we are starting at 40 MPs out of the 67. I think it's a very good first consolidation of the opposition, but I believe that we will not be able to make a real change before getting the 67 together around a program and a person.
Sam Ismail, the leader of the Kataib party, seemed very confident when I spoke to him about the results.
I would love a summary for the people outside, the Lebanese around the world, and also the foreigners around the world who are watching what's going on. What is your take on what happened today?
I think it's a confirmation of what we've been saying after the election, is that in this parliament there is no majority for anyone. So it is a chance for everyone to understand that no one can rule this country alone, including Hezbollah. Hezbollah cannot impose on all the Lebanese people, as he used to do in the past years, his own will. So I think that these elections can open the door for a real understanding from everyone here in the parliament that something needs to change and that something new should happen in Lebanon to save our country, because as we can see, the Lebanese people are living the worst days of their lives, and it is about time to sit together and think about the future.
So to wrap up today's proceedings, the first session for presidency, the vote for presidency, the winner, the single winner, was actually the white paper vote, but the single candidate was Michel Awad, who's come outside behind me now. If you can see him through the crowd, he received 36 votes. The white paper, we had 63 members of parliament who placed a white paper. 10 people voted for Lebanon, which is a no vote for nothing. 11 people voted for Salim Iddeh, and we had one vote for Rashid Karami, who's passed away, and one vote that went to Mahsa Amini, the Iranian woman who was murdered by the morality police over a week ago. So this is it for today. We'll be back in the parliament when they call the next session for the presidential vote. Thanks for joining us.
So remember to like, follow and share to stay in touch with what is happening in relation to the vote for the presidency. Stay tuned for a next instalment. Thank you.